Well, if not for some close investigations into the streets of Singapore, I doubt we'd be able to find these one-of-a-kind hawkers.
Precisely said Valerie. An intimate knowledge of the city is very hard to come by. More than 10 million visitors arrive at the shores of Singapore, but how many leave with such intimate knowledge? How can one go beyond this sightseeing and usual trips of shopping and instead go into the streets of Singapore to experience the culture for themselves?
What a timely question, Marcus. And after exploring some waning cultures, it is time to look at emerging cultures in Singapore, walking tours.
Unlike the typical bus tours where you're ferried around in a tour bus, a walking tour allows you to get up close and personal with the local culture, one footstep at a time. It's a relatively new concept in Singapore, but it attracts an increasing number of followers.
It's a lot of fun, telling all the unknown, taking them to all the nooks and crannies and lanes and hidden shops that people don't know about. That's the point of the walking tours, because I like sharing stories with the tourists. And if I see them coming back for more stories on another tour, then that's when I get my satisfaction.
Walking tours began in Europe and came to Singapore in early 2000. The walking tours are more interactive and engaging than typical sightseeing tours. Tourists get to wear costumes or sample local dishes, and the guides share personal stories to make the tour a more intimate experience. Journeys is one of the travel agencies providing walking tours around Singapore. Due to popularity, they add in more routes each year. The number of tourists increased by 15% annually since 2003. One of the popular walks called Dobbies, Saris, and Spot of Curry bring tourists to walk around Little India. The area has a colorful history involving not only Indians, but the British, Malays, and Chinese too.
It was really good actually. Yeah, it was exciting. There's lots of different things to do. Yeah. So the henna, yeah, it's lovely. It's great. Yeah, I have had it done before. She was so quick. It was incredible.
Alternatively, self-guided tours are for those who want more control over their time and destination. The internet is the best place to start planning your tour.
To truly visit a country really means going into the lives of the people and understanding their culture. Don't you agree, Valerie?
Well, that is exactly true, Marcus. Now let us review our stories today in our next segment, Watch It. Segment, we give our opinions on how long these cultures will last in Singapore. The more watches we give, the more we feel that these cultures are vibrant and here to stay.
Kampong Lorong Buangkok and Mandai Orchid Gardens, both historical locations in Singapore, will soon give way to urban redevelopment plans. We give them 1 watch out of 5. Visit these places as soon as possible.
The Hakka culture is at risk of disappearing, more than other bigger dialect groups like the Hokkien. With youths uninterested in learning about their own dialect culture, its survival does not hold much promise. Nonetheless, with Singapore Hakka Chong Association still in existence, the culture might not disappear so soon. We give it 2 watches.
Hainanese opera and art practiced by the older generation of Hainanese might be lost when age catches up with the artists. Unless the youth take interest and learn this art, this will be lost very quickly. We give them 2 watches out of 5.
Hawkers that make popiah, dumplings, and other local cuisines by hand are extremely rare these days. But in Singapore, where people are known for loving their food and hunting down the best makan places, this culture will certainly sustain for a while to come. We give it 3 watches.
Walking tours is a new thing in Singapore, where usual sightseeing tours are taken over by tours on foot around the city's streets. Since what sets Singapore apart are not our skyscrapers but our colourful cultural buildings and our multiracial culture, we believe walking tours will be the next big thing. We give it 4 watches. You know, Valerie, from today's stories, we can conclude that one thing unifies all Singaporeans.
I think I know exactly what you mean. A love for food is definitely a timeless culture that all Singaporeans share.
After today's stories, we learned about more cultures in Singapore that are in transit. Tomorrow, we will bring onto our set someone who belongs to a subculture that is rather controversial in Singapore.
If you wish to find out more about the news you've seen or wish to contact us, please visit our website at www.culturewatch.com.sg.
For the latest news on culture in Singapore, join us again tomorrow. My name is Marcus Yu.
And I'm Valerie Abedinas.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.